something that caught my attention is the fact that you're working for a very special airline, World to Fly, not only because it's new, but because of its business model. Is that right?
Okay. And then we have the systems integrated one with the other, and we are then receiving those ancillaries via the integration of the systems. And for that, we have taken an innovative, I would say, point of view is that we are giving a 3D virtual visit. I think we have almost completely eliminated any complaints from the customers about this specific issue. Of course, probably we have increased easily 20-25%.
Hi, welcome to Digital Airline, the podcast where we talk about airlines, digital transformation, and e-commerce. My name is Enric Puig, and today's episode is sponsored by Newshore. Newshore is the e-commerce solutions for airlines. With Newshore, airlines can increase their revenue, increase their sales by doing experiments, trying new things, and everything done in a very agile way. In today's episode, we talk with Alvaro Coromina, the IT director for World to Fly, a new startup airline in Spain. And two very interesting things that we discuss. Number one, they know most of the clients, they know them only maybe a couple of hours, maybe a couple of days before they depart, and still they are selling them ancillaries and how they manage to do that. I wanted to know how they arrange the whole thing to be able to increase their ancillary revenue, even with such a short notice, right? And the second thing is they're using technology, more specifically 3D vision, to increase, not only to increase ancillary revenue, but also to decrease complaints and to increase the image, the perception of quality from the customers. So join us and let's talk with Alvaro Coromina.
Hi Alvaro, welcome to Digital Airline.
Hello, good afternoon, Enric. How are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
Thank you. Very well, thank you.
Well, great. Thanks for joining us today. Today we are talking with Alvaro Coromina. Alvaro Coromina, for those who still don't know him, he is the director for IT and innovation for World to Fly. Is that correct, Alvaro?
Correct, Enric. That's it. That's my position currently.
Could you explain us a little bit about your background? You've been in the travel industry for long, right?
Well, I would say almost from the very beginning. Right after I graduated from the university as an IT engineer, I started working for an airline at that moment, a daughter company of the big LTU airline based in Germany at that moment. And yet, since then, I've worked either at airlines or for airlines from external companies. And yes, after my years at LTE, then I went and I created my own company that was giving services to airlines. And there we did create some applications for airlines and controlling applications. And we also developed some mobile applications. Even the iPhone was not still in the market by then. And then after that time, and I also went a little bit on the commercial side, helping a technology company to sell products to airlines. I came back to work for an airline, and that case was an airline that was integrated in a touristic group. And now currently, since May 2020, I'm here at World to Fly, where, well, I came in as the first employee because one of our main goals was to put innovation at the forefront of the company. And since May 2020, I've been in this position here at World to Fly.
That's perfect. That's very interesting. Sounds very interesting because of the innovation, and we want to talk about the innovation here. Mm-hmm. So Alvaro, tell us please a little bit about World to Fly, which is the differential side of World to Fly. What is the need that this airline comes to fill in today's world?
Okay. Well, first, World to Fly is the airline of the World to Meet group, which is a vertical integrated touristic group. World to Fly currently operates to holiday destinations in the Caribbean area, basically Havana, Cancun, Punta Cana, and Santo Domingo recently. And we aim to even fly to 7 additional destinations during this next summer adding destinations such as Orlando or even Uzbekistan, so from left to right in the map. World2Fly's goal, and it's been from the very beginning, to be an innovative, sustainable, and quality leader carrier. Those are the three things that really push us forward, and those are the things that the owners want us to be always thinking about. Currently, we operate a brand new A350 that came into the fleet in May 2020. We are receiving a second unit in May 2022 and a third unit in 2023, probably also around May. We operate with two AOCs, one in Spain, one in Portugal. And even though normally people situate us as a touristic group, even sometimes they tend to call us a charter airline. We are not. We are a regular airline, and besides the relationship we have with our tour operator, we also sell regular tickets. And also, even though the market now is very complicated, we do also realize ACMI operations when there is the opportunity in the market.
Okay, very good. So Alvaro, it's very interesting because in this podcast we want to talk about the innovation in the airline industry, and it seems that you're the perfect person to talk with about that. But something that caught my attention is the fact that you're working for a very special airline, World2Fly, not only because it's new, but because of its business model. Is that right?
Correct. World2Fly is an airline that belongs to a vertically integrated touristic group called World2Meet. And as we say, we are the tool that is giving the tour operator the capacity to carry their tour operator customers, which for us is passengers, to the destinations where the tour operator wants to create packages for. That means that the complete touristic integrated group has the ability to create packages with the tour operator, sell them with the OTA, and the travel agencies that are physically in the streets, and then has the capacity to move those passengers to the destinations using what is the World2Fly capacity. So yes, at that sense, we are not a standard airline. We are also not a charter airline because most of the flights that we perform are regular flights. We do have the rights to fly as regular flights, and we also sell our capacity via, let's say, the traditional channels like GDSs or interline agreements or things like that, which, if you want, we can explain later.
And direct sales as well, right?
Excuse me?
And direct sales.
Yes, correct.
For your website and.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so it's very interesting because if you can reveal which is the percentage of sales brought by the tour operator in opposition to the one that you do yourself.
Yeah, well, that's something that currently, and I guess that with the pandemic situation, it's a little bit logical to understand. Depends very much on the destination. For example, if we talk about Cuba, Havana specifically, where we fly to, currently is 100% what we call flight-only passengers, which means we are a pure regular airline, because the tour operator is not yet able to sell packages to Havana because of the restrictions on the country.
Okay.
That's of course also something that will change hopefully in the next months. If we talk about Punta Cana and Cancun, which together with Havana are the other two main destinations we operate to, the percentage will be something around 65% of what we call package passengers and 35% of what we call flight-only passengers.
Okay.
But there is also a little bit of difference between Cancun and Punta Cana, but as an average, it's a 65%.
So would it be correct to say that for many of your customers, you don't know them?
Correct.
Until, 2 days before departure or something like that?
Well, in fact, we do not know them until the moment they do the check-in process, either if it's via the web check-in process, which then, yes, it could be 2 days before, or if they do the check-in at the airport, then we know them, let's say 2, 3, 4 hours before the aircraft are really departures.
Okay,
so, yeah.
That's interesting because, the interesting thing here is that it must be a challenge, to try to make some more business out of ancillary sales when you have such a limited time, right, to do that.
Correct. Correct. I mean, if you don't mind, Enrique, if we first focus on the customers who we know, which are the customers that we have sold tickets via the B2C, then we use, I would say, more or less the same techniques that other airlines use. And of course, when the passenger goes through the IBE, purchasing a ticket, then we have his data. At that moment, we are offering that customer some ancillaries. But for those passengers that are what we call the package passengers, we do not know those passengers, as we were saying, until very little before the flight. So what are we doing? Well, going back to what I was referring before, that we are part of this vertical integrated touristic group. First is that the tour operator, we have integrated our systems with the tour operator systems, and that has allowed the tour operator to offer different type of packages to his customers. And with that, they are offering different aircraft ancillaries included in those packages. We have what they call the Essence package, the Quality package, and the Absolute package. And maybe the Essence package doesn't have any aircraft service, and the Absolute, which is the highest one, then includes fast track, includes gourmet meal, and includes seat selection. And of course, there we do have ancillaries that are aircraft ancillaries or airline ancillaries. Okay. And then we have the systems integrated one with the other, and we are then receiving that those ancillaries via the integration of the systems.
Okay, so that means that thanks to the integration, the tour operator will be able to sell the ancillaries that you have for those customers, right?
Correct.
But there has to be not only technical integration, but also business integration somehow, right?
Yeah, correct. In this case, the tour operator is one of the pieces of the World to Meet vertical integrated touristic group, and World to Fly is another one. So we are talking about, as I like to call it, the left pocket and the right pocket of the same trousers.
Okay.
But yes, besides that technical integration, another thing that we've done, which is quite new in the market, is that we are also promoting the travel agencies to sell or to talk about our ancillaries to their customers. And what we are doing is that we are even incentivizing them. If the passenger purchases an ancillary on our website, but that passenger has purchased the package on the travel agency, then we are going back to the travel agency and telling them, hey guys, your passenger bought a gourmet meal, bought a seat for this amount of money, and you will commission X%, and we are paying you that amount of money. That way, we are trying to break a little bit the huge gap that we were referring to before between the time when someone purchases a package and someone then shows up at the airport or at the web check-in process.
And does this work also for tour operators, or do you guys work with tour operators that are not part of the group?
Not yet, but probably as from this next summertime, we will start doing that, and then we will have to see and analyze with them if these things would be offered or not.
Okay. So let's go specific if you want to. What type of ancillaries are the more successful? How do you manage to sell them in short time frame, right? And what type of innovation in terms of technology are you guys using to sell your ancillaries?
Okay. Well, first, if we talk about the pure airline ancillaries and with the channels we, the airline, have, of course, I guess that as for all the other airlines, seats is the most important ancillary to be selling because it doesn't have a cost, and then anything you get from that channel is pure income. And for that, we have taken an innovative, I would say, point of view, is that we are giving a 3D virtual visit first of the aircraft itself. I mean, you can go into our website, go to the typical Our Fleet page, and there you can see a virtual visit of the aircraft. And then you can select any seat and then have a perfect view of what can you see from each one of the seats. And if you want to know if the toilet is close to you or not, if the window is right on your seat, or if it's cut half by the seat and then it's in between one row or the other, that's perfectly seen over there. And then also we have integrated that into our PSS. And therefore, when you are on the IBE process or during the Manage My Booking process, you can also see the seats that are available. You can perfectly select one, get to see a 3D view, and that, independently of giving a very high confidence to the customer of what he is going to purchase, it is also minorating, if not eliminating, completely the complaints from the customers, because they perfectly know what they are purchasing. They clearly see what is it, what they are getting. Okay, so that's talking about the seat maps, and of course, those seats are also offered during the web check-in process. So
it's not only about selling more ancillaries, but also reducing costs.
Correct, reducing cost, getting the image of your company much higher, because then people are not complaining. They are also not complaining, but also talking very well about you on social networks and things like that, because they are really getting a fantastic view of what it is there and what are they going to get. I mean, and
so they get it right, based on your past experience, right? Could you give me some sort of range in terms of complaints or calls that you get because of this seat problem in comparison?
I mean, I think we have almost completely reduced, eliminated any complaints from the customers about this specific issue. Of course, there are other ones, but this one almost disappeared, because everyone knows exactly what they are purchasing. And if, of course, there is always people trying to complain for some things, you have a fantastic answer to that customer. You had the tool. You had the tool to know exactly where you were sitting. So,
in terms of increase in the sales, do you have some sort of estimation how this technology is impacting?
I mean, we do not have a clear number due to several reasons. First of all, since we started in 2020, as we were referring before, we already started with this technology.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I have to say that it is surprising that, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, an airline like us could not even think about this technology because of the cost. And currently, with a quite decent cost, you can go for that.
Uh-huh.
So we are using this technology from the very beginning. So we don't have numbers from before or after. But using my previous experience on other airlines, probably we have increased easily 20-25%.
Okay.
And also, and linking to what we were referring before of the tour operator selling also ancillaries, that has made us grow very much in the ancillary sales, because now they are capable of offering the ancillaries. So our seat sales currently is really high due to these two factors.
Another metric that could be interesting is in terms of traffic. I mean, you have some sort of indication of how many people, when visiting your website, are kind of using this feature?
Well, that's one of the things that unfortunately we have not yet implemented, and we are still trying to implement some e-commerce metrics inside our IBE, and that's one of the things that we're working on. But so at this moment, I have no numbers that I can share with you.
Some other example of ancillaries that you are selling in a different way?
Yeah, well, we are also creating bundles ourselves. In fact, we do have already one bundle implemented that is offered to the passengers currently, and we are now going to launch as the summer comes closer additional bundles, because we've seen that the behavior of this first bundle works very well. At the moment, we are bundling seat with extra leg room, seat with premium meal. And that means that the passenger gets kind of a VIP treatment, if you want to call it so. And now we are launching other bundles, and they will be in the market probably in the next 2-3 months. So with that, we are also offering that via our Manage My Booking, IBE, and of course, via the web check-in. But of course, we are also allowing our tour operator to sell these bundles, which then automatically has a very big impact in the ancillaries that we sell as a global at the airline.
So Alvaro, besides these direct sales and this special relationship with the tour operators, how do you guys handle the relationship with travel agencies?
Well, we have on the one side the distribution via the GDS, which in our case we use Amadeus due to the penetration that has here in Spain and in Portugal. We also have some relations with the agencies via the direct integration between their softwares and our PSS using the API layer that is around our PSS. But we also have a B2B tool, which allows them to be directly booking really against our inventory.
Okay, that's cool. So you manage the relationship with some specific travel agencies in terms of, okay, book it directly into my systems. Does it also support, some sort of credit compensation? You have this much credit, you can make so many bookings or stuff like that?
Correct. That's of course a decision that lays on our commercial team hands. But yes, we do have the ability to give credit to a specific agency, and as the agency is purchasing, that credit is being reduced. Whenever we issue an invoice and they pay that credit, then that automatically gets increased. And so we have the ability to be on that loop. And for other agencies, which we might have less relationship with them, what we do is that when they arrive to the final process of the sales, then they are delivered to the payment password, so they can be paying over there using the gateway that the bank offers.
Okay, and in terms of percentage of indirect sales, how much would you say that comes through your B2B tool and in opposition to the rest of to the typical GDS?
Well, here again, I have to split my answer depending on the route, because, for example, for our route to Havana, we do work very, very much with one specific travel agency that has a huge penetration in Cuba, and also in the Cuban people that live here in Spain. And with them, we might be around maybe 90%, which is a huge amount of sales done by them. But if we go to the other routes, which are, let's say, more standard, flying to Santo Domingo, Punta Cana, or Cancun, then probably the package, as I was saying, was more or less a 65%, and the flight-only passengers are 35%. Inside that 35%, maybe 50% is B2C, and the other 50% is split between Amadeus and agencies that are directly booking through the API tool of our PSS. Anyhow, that is also going to change a little bit, probably increasing the amount of sales done directly by the travel agencies on our B2B tool, because we are exactly at this month launching a campaign with the travel agencies in Spain in order for them to be using our B2B tool and to better know our product. So probably that will change a little bit in the next few months.
The big question here for such an innovative airline, what are you going to give us that will be a surprise for us? Okay, what are your challenges in the future? What are you planning to deliver?
Well, as I referred earlier, we are adding aircraft to the fleet every year. We do have a committed aircraft for May this year, another new A350. A third unit will be coming in 2022, that's for sure. But the aim of the airline is to be growing. I don't know exactly when and how, but we will be growing. We will be probably also opening new destinations, and we will be creating probably relationships with other airlines. It is known, and this is public information, that there is an agreement between Iberia and World to Fly regarding the potential operation with Air Europa, but as you know, the situation of that relation between Iberia and Air Europa currently is a little bit unstable. But should that operation become reality, then there is a remedy that was presented to the European community where World to Fly will be operating some of the routes that Iberia is operating, therefore to be a better distribution of the slots in between the different airlines that operate in Madrid Barajas.
Okay. And in terms of technology, customer experience, distribution, what are you planning? What are your next moves?
Well, in terms of technology, of course, we are always observing what is the technology offering in the market. We do have many ideas that we would like to launch, but of course, they need to be slowly coming into the company. We have to remember that we are a small structure, so we cannot afford many projects at the same time, but there are quite a bunch of projects. There is one first principle that I've tried to push inside the company from the very beginning, and this is that the information should be collected at the point where it is generated.
Okay.
And we are giving the necessary devices to the different persons of the World2Fly ecosystem so they can introduce, even if it's a tablet, in a formula, or even if it's on an Excel sheet, but the information is introduced by the person that really, for the first moment, touches that information. And from there on, then we are moving that information using the different integrations, web services, and so on that might be around.
Are you aiming to be a paperless airline?
Totally. And in fact, we started with that purpose, and we have achieved that very, very well, honestly, I would have to say. But of course, there are always things to improve. There are more integrations between the systems that could be carried out. And we do have a very long list of small integrations that we can carry on with. And that is going to, for sure, have us entertained for a long while. And at the same time, we are also adding new technologies. Whenever we go to a different show and we see some supplier offering whatever technology or whatever idea that we think could be introduced in the system, for sure, we at least analyze it. Then, of course, then we need to see if it's feasible, not feasible, or if it's the right moment, or we should be waiting. But fortunately for us, there are many, many companies out there offering great ideas, which is then allowing us to think about many different things. And another very interesting point is that those technologies currently are quite affordable for a company like us. I mean, having the market gone to the software as a service model really helps us think about ideas that, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago was impossible for an airline to think about.
Impossible because they were not affordable.
Not at all.
Okay, let me throw you one mobile app, because I've checked your website and I see that it's web responsive, and that's great, obviously. But I was wondering whether you guys are planning to have your own mobile app, since this is a long distance, not that often being used by a customer, right? So are you planning to have your mobile app?
Yes, we are planning. In fact, we are not planning. We are already working on that.
Okay.
And if everything goes properly, probably next month or in May latest, we will have our own mobile app where both the passengers that have purchased the tickets directly to World2Fly, but also, and this is important, that have purchased the ticket through any other channel, would be able to retrieve their reservation and, of course, do the web check-in or maybe purchase an ancillary.
Okay. Very good, Alvaro. Well, thank you very much. I'm really happy that we are talking here, because the podcast is named Digital Airline. It seems that you guys are right on this very, very, very clear idea, right? Being digital, being paperless, streamlining processes, and so on. So yeah. Thank you very much for sharing with us. We'll be looking at you guys very closely and hopefully seeing your developments in the future.
Thank you very much, Enrique, for inviting me. Congratulations for the podcast, and be sure I will be following you, because yes, we are an airline that were born in 2020, sorry. We must be a digital airline. That's a flag that we're always carrying. So for sure, digital airlines is something that we have to follow. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Alvaro. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
I hope you liked the episode. If you did, please share with your colleagues, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. There's more to come. Bye-bye.